Welcome to Audio Out Sessions. Our first guest is Christopher Farrell,
Farrell. That's
and
right.
local local musician. And basically, Audio Out Sessions is local bands, solo artists, you know, traveling bands. Uh,
Original music.
Right. All original music, mostly stripped down, and basically it's just telling the story and their early years and what they have going on in their in the future, and some stories along the way, and some of their writing. Um, basically just their writing, how they all their stories and stuff. So
We've all got stories.
yeah.
You know.
Well, thanks for coming to talk
Yeah.
to us, Chris.
Happy to be here.
Helping us get stuff started out.
All right.
Because we got to start somewhere, right?
I usually don't do these things, but I'm very excited to be here, and I appreciate you asking me.
Right on.
Thanks for being a part.
Would you maybe shed a little light about some of the things you've got going on in Ottawa right now?
Well, I'm involved in a lot of things in Ottawa. Got a lot of irons in the fire over there. I'm involved with a non-for-profit called Here and Again, and Here and Again is it supports the arts. We That was our goal, was to start this organization where we can reach out to different people in the community, kids, older artists, just across the whole spectrum. You know, kind of give them a little push that they need sometimes. And what that turned into in time was someone got the idea to start a radio station, a community radio station, to help support, you know, our endeavors and support other endeavors. So we started a committee, and we've got the licenses, the equipment, and we're getting ready to launch with this station, probably within the next maybe 6 to 8 months. You know, it takes a little bit of work. There's programming, you know, coming up with concepts, and being that it's community radio, you kind of have to touch a little bit of everything with that. And you know, of course, one of our major focuses is going to be local artists, and getting them on interviews similar to what we're doing here. Maybe, you know, promote some live shows. And at this point, we're in the process of working on the live shows to try and raise some more money, because we do need money. We're at the point right now where, you know, we've spent a lot of money on our equipment, and now we need just a little bit more to launch that.
Yeah.
And what ties into that is a venue that we also have called Wallace Hall. And Wallace Hall is a sort of a live music venue, medium sized. It's really, really cool. We have songwriter sessions up there. And attached to Wallace Hall is a 75 seat viewing room, video room, or theater room, huge screen. So we've got all of these, you know, when I say all the irons in the fire, I'm probably touching just a few of them here.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, with Here and Again, what we're going to try and do is take all of these things that we have going, and hopefully they'll come together as one, you know, and everything will synchronize the way it needs to synchronize in the next year or so.
Awesome.
Very cool.
And we've gotten a lot of support.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Mm-hmm. We could use more, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Well, hopefully this helps get the word out a little bit.
Well, I appreciate it.
Something else I was kind of wondering about, and, you know, Jeff and I want to explore as a theme for the guests we have on here is if you'd like to share any of your kind of early music memories, or, like, you know, how did you get started with instruments? Is it something that was in your family, or is it something?
Well, I grew up with 4 older sisters, and all of us kids were 3 to 5 years apart. And so from the time I was born, I was in a house that had music playing, because there were teenage girls in the house. So we always had a lot of music playing in the house. And one of my oldest sister, who was about four, or my next closest sibling, I should say, picked up guitar when we were real young. And she was fantastic and very talented. And she got a lot of attention because of it. And I think that's where I decided I'm playing guitar.
There you go.
And so she never really got out and played, shows or anything like that. She was more of a classical guitarist. And it's still funny to this day because it still bugs me because I always hear, used to hear, you're real good, but she was great. And I'm like, oh. But needless to say, she's playing guitar still. But
Cool.
So yeah, there was a lot of music in my family. And my first band started because I was trying to write songs from the very, me and another kid in the neighborhood had guitars, and we weren't good enough to play any songs, so we just made up our own songs.
Absolutely.
And that's I think everybody maybe goes through that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So we started this band and started playing, driving everybody nuts. We were probably awful. I thought we were great. And so then I saw an ad in the paper, and it said, guitarist wanted, must be 14. And I was like 12 or 13 at the time. I called the guy up and said, yeah, I'm 14.
There you go.
And he was another teenage kid, and his name was Denny Coleman. And that relationship turned into my first working band. So by the time I was, 8th grade, freshman in high school, we were playing parties, weddings. Back then they had actual bands at weddings. There weren't DJs. We're going into the early 80s here. And that band kind of did all right,
Nice.
And then off of that, then you grow up, you get into other bands, and then I don't want to get too long-winded here, but then the first, I think, real relevant band I was in locally was probably Nikki Fox when that started, when that band came out. And I was in that for a couple of years and then moved on to various road bands and other stuff.
The journey.
And right off of Nikki Fox, I went on the road for a year with an act out of Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
Came home and it eventually wound its way into the Krank Daddies,
Cool.
which took me on the road for 8 years.
Wow.
And I left the Krank Daddies in this past year for a lot of different reasons,
So, but you've been writing a lot of your own songs now, like currently?
Lately, I've been writing maybe 2 songs a week, 3 songs a week. And it's crossing all kinds of genres. I'm kind of focusing right now on doing. I want to do something a little bit more with a little bit more of an Americana feel, but a little louder, a little bit more electrified.
Yeah.
Than a lot of acoustic instruments, and that's the vision that I have, and that's the sound that's going around in my head right now. And I'm in the process of putting something together where I can have musicians that also can kind of see that vision and be willing to work, on that. And of course, focusing on originals,
Cool.
And
Very cool.
That's always been my focus, and I don't go out there and do them a lot in my local shows. I keep them real close to the chest. I usually don't like to do them until they're ready.
Ironing them.
And I like them wrapped up in their little box and the bow tied. But tonight, I'm going to be doing a couple of songs that are brand new. I haven't recorded them. They're just they haven't been wrapped up and put in their box yet. So
Cool.
We'll see.
We're anxious to hear.
It's a special treat for me to be able to do it like this.
Awesome.
So,
Very cool, man. So you don't have to divulge too much, but just out of curiosity, is it something like you'll have like an idea for a lyric and a song will come out of that, or you'll be playing your guitar and you hear something a certain way and you start to go with that? I mean, it can happen all kinds of different ways,
I think,
right? But
for me, it's usually riff oriented or guitar part oriented. I'll be sitting around on the couch and noodling around, and I'll come on something, and then a melody will come,
Nice.
and the lyrics come after I kind of get that melody, and what does that melody make me feel like? And
Yeah, there you go.
lyrically, I've never felt like I was a strong lyricist because my focus has always been so much on the music side. I'm not much of a poet, so I think now where I'm at, I've had a lot of time since I've been out of the Krank Daddies to really kind of clear my head and and find a good place to write from lyrically. And I've decided that the things I'm writing about now are just real life experiences that I've been through or places I've been to.
Right on.
And so I think that works for me.
Cool.
And I really don't write any love songs anymore. I've written some.
Word.
But for me, I'm in a great relationship, and I have my life is good right now, and so I think my songs reflect that a little different. Or they do reflect that. I guess would be the right way to put it.
Cool.
Very cool. All right. We wanna hear some songs then?
Sure. First one that I want to do is kind of touches the subject we were just on. When I was on the road with the Cranks, I can remember the moment when I thought, I just can't do this anymore. It wasn't any. There was no traumatic fight or weirdness or anything like that. It was just going down the highway, and knowing that I had another 19 hours to go before I got home. And I remember all I wanted to do was just go home. And after you get there, to get to that point mentally, you realize, I think, that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing anymore. If you question what you're doing as a musician, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And this song is, the first song is about home, wanting to go home.
Very cool.
Nice, man.
I touch on, I grew up in Marseille, so I touch on some things that'll would be personal for anyone who knows that town.
Okay.
But it's general enough that it could be any town.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet. Well, yeah, we'll get out of your way.
All right.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit here awkwardly while you play your song and stare at you,
I'll look in your eyes.
You can look for. We'll be back here or something.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
Christopher Farrell.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Home, that's where I wanna go home. To the small town that holds all my brothers, fathers and sisters and mothers. Home, that's where my heart's beating still. My good friends buried up on that hill, and my dad is there with them, and goddamn I miss him. I wanna turn this wreck around, head out on 80 westbound, with my pedal to the ground. Jump in that muddy water till the hands in my face. God knows I don't wanna be any other place but home. That's where I'm going, back to my cliffs and the valley, where the cops circle like sharks outside of the bars. I wanna turn this wreck around, get out on 80 westbound, with my pedal to the ground. Touch that muddy water, take my hands to my face. God knows I don't wanna go any other place but home. Ooh. with the lilacs blow in the wind, and the panthers just can't find the wind. Maybe I'll see them again. Ooh, I wanna turn this wreck around, and on 90 westbound, with my pedal to the ground. Jump in that muddy water, take my hands to my face, 'cause God knows I don't wanna be any other place but home. This next one might be a little bit dirty. I'm not sure. This is a song about being in the car with someone that you're just starting to date, and you know, there's love in the air. There's all kinds of things floating around, and for me, I ended up marrying the girl that I wrote this song about. It's called "She's Got Something." She's got something, she's alright. She looks away and smiles at the night. She gets closer, losing tight, catches a breath, I'm falling, and the stars up above through the windshield wink. I wanted to stay as we stand on the brink. The motor is on, I can feel the heat, and the taste of the lips is making me weak. She comes over, pulls me down, takes a peek, and there's no one around. Two hearts beating like a drum, stars collide, she's starting to come, and the moon up above through the windshield blinks. I wanted to stay as we stand on the brink. The motor is on, I can feel the heat, and the touch of the lips is making me weak. She's got something, she's alright. She gets closer, losing tight. Two hearts beating like a drum. Stars collide, I'm under her thumb. And the stars up above through the windshield wink. I wanted to stay as we stand on the brink. The motor is on, I can feel the heat, and the taste of this is making me weak.
Chris, thanks so much, man. Those
Thank you
songs
very
are
much.
Super rad.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
you got some musicians lined up to play those tunes with you?
I've got some tentatives.
Okay.
You know, I've got interested guys, interested characters. The more I can find, the better. The more talent. I'm looking to finish a record here in the next 4 to 6 months, and then play it live.
Nice.
You know,
That's
get
awesome.
out and you know, I have a cover band that I play with on the side, so this is going to be a completely live or completely original project.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Jeff.
much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
And everybody, thanks for watching Audio Out Sessions. Till next time.
Inaugural.